Duto Realty is a homegrown business with an eye for getting the job done right. From football games to Sunday school and everything in between, these ladies care about our community and the people in it. Helping buyers and sellers in all of Florida with all types of transactions, including residential, commercial, farm, or vacant land. They do it all. They even offer auction services and sellouts to always get the job done right. Welcome back to another edition of the Goblay Show. I'm your host, Billy Goble, and today I have a special guest. She is a great friend of mine, and we worked together many, many moons ago. I don't want to say too many moons, but it was quite a, it's been, I don't know, 25 years maybe?
Since we worked together?
Yeah, when we first started.
I mean, yeah.
It was 2000, yes. It's 2025.
Oh my
All right.
gosh, I don't teach math.
Welcome to the Goblay Show.
Thank you.
How
I'm
you doing?
So excited to be here. So good to see you.
Teddy Roosevelt, wasn't he speak softly and carry a big stick?
Yeah.
Wasn't that his whole MO with going across the pond and saying, hey, y'all want to play? Let's play ball.
Right. And we'll do, I mean, we don't have to be mean about it. I'm just going to do this, but I'm going to hold the stick just in case.
Well, yeah.
And he had the naval fleet behind him.
Just know I have the stick. That's all.
I'm not
that's
afraid to
really
use it.
what all it meant.
Right. I love Teddy Roosevelt.
So I do trivia on at my mother-in-law's place, and they have a tap room, so we do trivia, and I have a section with its history, and so I'll like throw some stuff out there. And my dad, he's a big history guy too, so he's like, he'll say stuff to me, and he's like, you should add this one. I'm like, Dad, you already know that one. I'm trying to give you one you don't know.
Well, now you got one. You can do the executive orders.
He'll watch the show. He'll know.
It's not for a while.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it'll be delayed. Yeah, you're right. But there's a lot of things where people just automatically assume, oh yeah. This is what, and this person did this, and they're like, no. You would think. Like one of my favorite things is Andrew Jackson was the first governor of Florida, the territorial governor.
Yeah. I have the newspaper.
Oh, yeah?
I have a newspaper hanging in. I have in my study. I collect antiques, and I have his newspaper that he wrote about the Florida. About, hey, this is what we're gonna do here.
Yeah, that's so cool. So since we're talking about presidents, and this is a big topic, and it has nothing to do with the current situation we're in. But going back to JFK, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I love conspiracies. And the whole thing now is
really
who really killed JFK. Right. And they have so many different videos.
Which is really odd because we really only have one.
We have was that
the Zapruder film.
Right.
And that is the only admissible evidence.
Which if you noticed, or if you I don't know if you've heard this or not, but and you probably have because you said you listen to Rogan sometimes, but he's a big and he was talking about how that guy had it on the Geraldo like the Geraldo Rivera show. He was he was showing it on there. It was like 15 years after 15 years, I want to say, it was in the 70s. So it's like 15 maybe 10 15 years later, and it was he was even back then was like, look, this is not how that really happened. And one of the things I keep taking away from that is when they took the car, they wiped down the car. That's a crime scene. Like, they wiped the car down to clean it up. That's a crime scene. You can't, like, in the hospital.
There was an assassination attempt, and they
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
they burned burned's not the right word. Excuse me.
Well, they burned the ships.
Cremated. They cremated the body before all the investigation was done. Right. Like, why does our government do that?
Yeah, that's just like the guy in Butler in PA.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about like for when the whole car with JFK.
Yeah, they cleaned the car, but in the Butler they cleaned the roof. Like, yeah, they cleaned.
Like, hold on a second. Apparently they cleaned his apartment. He had no silverware in his apartment. Like, they got rid of it. Like, there's nothing in this apartment. It's been professionally wiped.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
Like, yeah.
So weird.
Well, and I think that it's interesting because if you don't have answers, that's where conspiracies come out of.
I think that.
You know, I mean, I've taught students in this, in all my years, 3 have not believed in the Holocaust. And have had, had permission from their families to leave the classroom when I teach it. And they have these conspiracy theories. I had a student years ago. You know what? This isn't even in the book. I should probably put it in the book. A student tell me that we have a flat Earth, and I'm like, okay, well, to each its own. And he was like, I got 2 sources because I know you're going to tell me. That sometimes backfires on me. I'm like, okay. And he goes, I'm asking you to watch this, Miss Downey, because you're the only teacher that listens. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. So I said, but I waive my right to agree with you. So if I come back after I watch it and I don't agree, I get to tell you why. And he said, okay. Like the first 10 minutes of this guy, Ted, everybody's Ted in my room, talking about it's flat Earth. It's .com. It's literally a guy. And I'm like, this is not Bible. This is not law. We have scientific evidence. And he's like, oh, no, but we don't. And I'm like, he clearly didn't have a kaleidoscope with a protractor. But it's so funny because because it's like if you don't give me an answer, then all I can do is assume. And if I assume it's a conspiracy theory, right. But you made me go there.
Right. Well, the thing about conspiracies, like you said, if you don't have enough answers and there are
then people are going to make them.
Possibilities.
Right.
Where it makes it problematic, like you're like, okay, so what if, like after watching several different things, and I'm not any kind of way, please don't label me, but after they've been talking about the moon landing, like even was that
no, yes, it's real.
Okay, I'm just saying, it's
real. I'm hardcore on this. It's real. It's real. I saw the movie.
What, the Apollo mission?
Yeah, no, the one that they just came out with, the actual project that made the fake one. Like there was an actual project.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it just came out. Fly Me to the Moon.
Oh, okay.
And the advertising version of what happened. They were told to make something in case they didn't get it, which to me is like, which
that
I
makes
get
sense,
it
though.
because America wanted to win. We were losing the Cold War,
Russia. Yeah.
And Russia had already beaten us, Sputnik and all that stuff. Like, so I think it was more like, take one for the team. We got to do something, and they never needed that, so we had the real one. But because they found the old one, it was like,
Well, what's funny is, and funny as an ironic, they have after World War II, they have pictures of. Have you ever seen the pictures of the German officers where they had the fencing scars? They're called. I think basically that's what it is, and it's a scar that goes across their cheek.
I mean, I have seen them, but
like
but I never thought anything of it.
They open it up. They cut it open and then they pack it with horsehair. And it makes it like scar up, and it's like a sign of like you're pretty much a badass, like you know what I mean, like you're
okay.
But all these German generals, or not generals, but like officers would have those dueling scars, is what they call it, dueling scars, and they would do that on purpose. Like that was it was like a badge of honor type deal. And there's a picture of this guy with JFK at the launch site. I think it's the Apollo or whatever, and he's got the scar. So this guy is like, it's weird how these guys, the power, how these guys.
Well, I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So World War II is it's at World
Have
War
you ever heard of that?
I have not, and I'm not.
Okay.
And I will say that there's lots of things obviously that I don't know, but World War II through Cold War foreign policy is like, that's my master's degree.
Gotcha.
And I learn stuff every day about World War II, but I've never heard of that. But I was shocked in studying history and stuff to learn that we absorbed so many Nazis. And now that I'm trying to tell you this, I don't remember. I ask this every time. P.O. Box something or other, where we actually had a resort here, and we brought POW Nazis.
Yes.
And wined and dined them so that they would get drunk and would tell us stories.
Yeah. Or,
so that we knew
secrets, whatever.
Yeah. But we absorbed them. And then it recently as in the last, because we already talked about this, what recent is, I want to say it was in the last 10 years, the woman that identified a Nazi in New York This happened. It was on the news. It was a huge deal. She saw his eyes and recognized him from the death camps for what he did to her.
Oh yeah.
Called him out. They went to his house. He had all the paraphernalia and stuff.
Yes.
They arrested him, and out he went on a stretcher.
About that. I can't remember the name of it. It's on Netflix.
So he goes out on a stretcher. He's like 85, 90 years old.
Yeah, it's like My Neighbor the Murderer or something like that. Yes.
And I was like, they're just here.
Yep.
But the kids are like, well, we don't have Adolf's body. He's in Argentina. I'm like, well, for now, first of all, he'd be dead by now.
Yeah.
But second of all, no, he didn't go to Argentina. And they're like, but do you know that? And I'm like, yes, because I was told.
I don't believe that he did go down there, but coincidentally, there are a lot of Germans down there.
Right. Well, there's a whole Bavarian village, and we know, as documented, that they did go down there. Lots of Nazis escaped to Argentina because they absorbed them. They were fine with it.
That's why you get a lot of blonde-haired, blue-eyed Brazilians and Venezuelans. And
it's so funny when I teach my class, and we'll go through what the Aryan race is, and I teach in a very diverse school. I'm the only, in my classroom, I'm like, oh, that's just me. I'm the one that's staying. Best of luck to you all. But then I have to explain that he wasn't seeking out blacks or Hispanics at that time. Like, that's not what his end goal was. And I said, really, y'all weren't in Germany.
Right. Well, the thing is they wanted all those guys to come back. A lot of those, not the concentration people. I'm talking about like these scientists and stuff, because that's who
Project.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
What was it, Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
All that deal was,
well, and they were scientists for Germany. They weren't Nazis.
No. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to say they were
right.
Yeah. But they coaxed them. They pretty much
gave them a great deal. Yeah.
They're like, hey,
you can be free.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer and his chain smoking.
See, and then there's so many different like variations of stories of who did what and this and that. So it's almost like, like your student said, it was 80 years ago, but my God, it's still not enough to decipher. I mean, look, Kennedy was killed in 1963, and we still don't have a clear.
Right.
And that was one event.
7 days left.
That was one event. Yeah.
7 days before it's released.
Yeah. That's right.
He released it. He said 15 days.
Okay.
15 days. So I can't wait. I don't know how much.
Well, it'll be out by now.
Yeah.
This is previously taped.
Oh, right. Good point. So when we review the work,
for a month or so.
I'll be back. I'll be back the month after to talk about it.
I know, right? We'll be back. We're going to go back. We're going to go back. In
right.
time.
We're going to do history. We're going to do history lessons. That's my plug. That's my next book is going to be about World War II.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm going to be writing a historical fiction, not one that you'll read because it'll be thick, but it's
guys, that's me. I told her that. She's not dissing me. She knows I won't read it.
But you might. It's based on.
I do like that kind of stuff.
It's based on the over 2,000 love letters my grandparents sent back and forth during World War II.
Oh, cool.
So he was stationed in the Philippines, and he was in the Battle of Manila Bay.
Okay.
And I have read their letters, and I've been transcribing them for my family.
Yeah.
And it just came to me. I'm like, oh my God, this is an actual... Because everyone in my family was like, we don't know what he did. We don't know what he did.
Yeah.
And I'm reading through, and I'm like, it says it in these letters.
Exactly.
Like he talks about... He mentions going into a church. He was a devout Catholic. And my grandfather talks about going into a church and seeing a Filipino nun. And she was helping the people and, very kind. And he talked to her. And then he describes this nun who had clearly seen death. She was pale-faced. She was German.
Right.
And when he finally got to speak to her, she worked for the Nazis. Wow. And somehow ended up in the Philippines. But had dealt with the Nazis, and he's like, she looked in the letters, he's like telling my grandmother, he's like, she looks like death. She looks like she's seen nothing but death. She looks so sad. Yeah. Her face is so sunken in. And that's documented evidence of what we know, and my kids are always shocked to find out how they always want to know, how could they do it? How could they do it? How can anybody kill another human being? How they want those answers. Yep. Like anytime something happens in life, they want, Miss Downey, how could people do that? Miss Downey, how, and it's to explain to them well, Nazis used Pervitin. They were on the drugs, and
they're the reason for meth.
Right.
And
I'll cite the book Blitzed for them, and I'm like, look, here's the books. Here's a great, it makes the kids, it's not the word, forgive is not the word. It makes them understand how they did that.
Right.
So therefore, if they had the drugs that made them do that, then how does a 25-year-old someone over here kill somebody else?
Right. Absolutely.
Are they on drugs? Are they? And I'm like,
right.
So it's weird. There's no justification for the Nazis, but it's like, oh, well, if somebody was making them do drugs, then they wouldn't have felt,
Yeah, exactly. There's no remorse. There's no mental, nothing to keep them from, making that. Right. There's no block.
There's no conscience, right?
Right, exactly.
Right. Yeah, I take students every year to Europe to witness history where it happened.
Oh, did you have you been to what's the place called?
Auschwitz.
No.
We just went there this past summer.
It's Luxembourg. Have you been to Luxembourg?
No, we took the kids to Berlin this summer.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But it was really interesting to be in Berlin because there I am with 18 students, and Germany is really truly starting to own what happened in World War II for a long time. Mm-hmm. I had been told that you couldn't find anything Nazi paraphernalia. No, you can't do. Okay, well, they've now are coming to grips with the fact that it is a very popular topic.
Yes.
And they're owning it on the right side of it, and it's beautifully done. So everywhere in Berlin, so you walk like the Brandenburg Gates, the kids are like, okay, it's the gate, like, okay. Right. I'm like, this is iconic. Right. Well, even for me, I was like, all right, cool, there it is.
Yeah.
But then at the bottom of it, there's a huge picture of the Nazis walking through Brandenburg Gate, declaring Berlin to be their home base. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, whoa. And I'm like, so that's why you're here, this.
Right.
And it was an even aha moment for me to be like, oh, this is like the base camp.
Yeah.
And then they bring you to this street corner in the middle of the intersection, and they're like, underneath this is where Hitler killed himself. This was his bunker. And it's like, what? I want to go down.
Right.
But they're like, they're trying to figure out what to do with it. This is the most popular parking lot in the entire world. Mm-hmm. So coming to grips with that of what happened, it's kind of like, it's very much like America coming to grips with what we did.
Right.
We made mistakes,
right,
but we owned it a lot faster than Germany did. Right. We were like, well, but no, we didn't, because theirs was only 80 years ago and ours was, 100 years, 250 years ago. So it's interesting watching the countries and letting the students see countries really starting to go, okay.
Yeah.
We probably should have done this better,
Exactly.
Now let's learn. So, but really neat, but to see the kids see Auschwitz, and it's like, all I thought was, if I could bring those 3 students here, what would they think?
Yeah.
Would they care? Or would they still be like, this is just a show?
Exactly.
So.
Do y'all still do Anne Frank? Do you still do the Diary of Anne Frank?
They do in middle school. We don't really.
Gotcha.
We touch really quick on it. I'm taking the kids next year to see Anne Frank.
Well, I was just curious because I was like, what is it that? Because I think we read that in middle school as well. But I was like, it doesn't matter what age. I wouldn't suggest that elementary kids read it. But
there's Anne Frank versions in elementary school now.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they've made it. Yeah. They've made it readable for everybody. Kids all know who Anne Frank is.
Oh yeah.
There's certain things they know. They know for a fact who Anne Frank is. They all think Boy in the Straight Pajamas is real.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year. Are we gonna watch Boy in the Straight?
I just saw that for the first time, like last year.
What'd you think?
It was it made its point. I mean, it was sad.
Right, but it's not a real story. But
right.
And it's not. It's not Band of Brothers. Like, to me, Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers of the Pacific. Oh my gosh.
End all be all.
Yeah.
And so like the kids. But I was, I show. Like, we just started talking about it this week, and so I started talking about Pearl Harbor, and I said, look, I'm going to show you a movie clip. Ben Affleck is in it. I said, but the reason these video clips are better than the ones that I used to show you at the beginning of the year from Civil War is because World War II vets are still alive.
Yeah.
When we started making videos about Civil War, there wasn't a video camera.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
There's no, and I said, so these are far more realistic. And, the kids are just, it's interesting. I'll teach these, you teach Great Depression, and the class is 48 minutes. And at 46 and a half minutes, they're all packed up and ready to go.
Yeah.
They're like, okay.
Yeah.
Teaching World War II, the kids come in, they sit down, and the bell rings, and they're like, no, wait, no, finish. Oh, they're so enthralled in it. So it's like, and I don't know if that's because I like teaching it more, that topic, than anything, or.
I think it's because you put enthusiasm into to it, and therefore, you know how much it means to you, and that they can sense that. I think I think when any teacher is like, when the kids walk in, they're like, all right, it's on the board, because they've already checked out. It's Friday,
right?
But or whatever. It's almost at the end of the year, almost break time.
Right, AC's not working in your room.
You're like, oh my gosh, I'd rather be on the beach right now. But if you show enthusiasm and you say, guys, this really means a lot to me, just like how many kids will never know, obviously, because they weren't around for 9/11.
Oh my God. You know how crazy it is? Beginning of the year, every September 11th, I teach it.
Yeah.
And I used to say, how many of you were alive? How many were alive? None of them are alive now.
No.
None of them. The kids in high school were born in 2008.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
My grandfather used to say to me when I was a kid, may you never have a Pearl Harbor. May you never have to deal with that.
Yep.
My grandfather died August of 2001.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And so the kids are like, so was 9/11 your Pearl Harbor? And I'm like, I would have to be.
Yeah.
In
absolutely.
my life.
Absolutely.
You know, and I mean, absolutely. I remember where I was. I remember what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be at work that day.
Right.
And,
I was supposed to be there too.
Yeah.
I called in sick.
I hope they gave you that point back because they didn't.
I don't remember.
We should call. Excuse me. We're
Sandy.
live. Right. We're
Sandy.
live.
Sandy, the show base, please. No, I remember calling because, and this is obviously before I just wasn't feeling. If something was wrong, I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't feel good, so I'm sitting there watching a movie.
Before it even happened.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
like I had like a. I don't want to say because that's completely wrong, but like a spidey sense, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Like I felt bad, so I was like, I'm not gonna make it today. It's Tuesday. And I'll never forget this. And my we had a pest guy used to come. Now out here, he had a key to our house. It's chill, So he comes but he would always knock and everything. So he knows I was home, and he goes, he's starting to do his thing. He never really he just got to work, And so I'm in there watching a movie. I think I was watching Executive Decision. No. I'm sorry. What was the movie? It was Samuel L. Jackson and Tommy Lee Jones. Where I can't remember the name of the movie. But anyways, it's over in Afghanistan, and it's at an embassy. And so anyways, I just had stopped or paused. It was VHS. Had stopped it or paused it, and I heard him say something, and he goes, "Hey," and I thought he said there was another shooting or something. And I was like, "Oh my gosh," because we just had Columbine. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, like what?" And I said, "Something? What did you say about shooting? What?" And he goes, "No, New York. They had a plane hit a tower." And I'm like, "What?" So he's like, turn it on. He turned it on TV. So turn it on TV, and at not at that exact precise moment, but like a few seconds later, that's when the second tower got hit. And I was like, dude, what is going on? Like you just had this sense of, like you were just like you didn't know what was up, what was down. You're just like, what is going on? Like, what are they going to do next? And then the Pentagon got hit. Then that plane crashed in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, and then I'm like, oh my gosh! Then I started feeling really, really sick to my stomach because I was like, I called in. They're like, Disney's on evacuation. Blah blah blah. They're going to be shut down. And I'm like, what?
Right, because when Disney closes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, they closed one time for like a hurricane.
Yep, we did.
And it was like a half day. It was like a full day. I'm like, they've never closed the park.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
So it was like, but this is just something I'll never forget. And
that's how my grandfather felt.
Yep.
And he vividly remembers that.
Yep.
And I thought, when I tell my kids where I was and what happened, I was supposed to do parade that day, and and they're just, they haven't had it, and now I know what my grandfather meant. I'm like, I hope you don't have it.
Yep.
I hope you don't.
Pearl Harbor was the movie was it's not one of my favorites, but I love the scene where what's the guy's name? Played Roosevelt. I'm so bad with names. But anyways, John Voight. John Voight's FDR. And he's like, he goes to get up out of his chair, and they're like, because he said, what you're saying can't be done. And he said, He gets up and he's like about to fall out of this, and he goes, Mr. President, he's like, get back. And he stands up on his own. He goes, don't tell me it can't be done. And that, I'm telling you right now, every time I see that, I want to run through a wall, because there's nothing that literally, when you have to do something,
right,
you have to do it.
Right.
And it always, because my grandfather was World War II. He was in the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was Army. I think he landed in, my dad's going to correct me because I'll probably get it wrong, Utah Beach. Okay. So it wasn't
Omaha.
It wasn't Omaha. He landed on Utah Beach, and
Utah was still just as bad. It was all D-Day.
Right. So he landed on the beach, and some of the stories that I've heard, just crazy. Like my dad and I were just talking about this recently. Like just that growing up in that lifetime, it was just another time, another place, and it was like. Is this real life? Like, is this real? Like, you watch, like, so I got to watch Saving Private Ryan with my grandfather, and he was watching, and he goes, he would say stuff that I wouldn't really necessarily think he would say. So like, there's the battle scene of the probably the best D-Day scene they've ever done.
Oh, in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan. So, and then all of a sudden this guy's like he's got to go around the corner, and he's got his bayonet, and he's got a mirror, and he takes the chewing gum out, and he puts on, then he's like, wiggling around. My granddad goes, "Where'd he get gum at?"
You know what's so funny? So we met. I met a World War II. I took my students to the 75th D-Day Memorial in Normandy, and there's my students talking to these World War II vets. And one of my students asked that. One of my students goes, "I have a question," because Spielberg talked to vets to make that movie. Yeah. Because he wanted it to be that accurate. And one of my students goes, "I have a question for you, because I know all of y'all were interviewed for Spielberg's D-Day scene." And he said, "But the guy had gum in the movie." And he said, "Well, a lot of it's Hollywood." He's like, "But we did chew on anything we could find." Yeah. And he said, "So I can't tell you if that was gum." And I was like, "Oh, all right." Yeah. Because he said that people crossing the channel were very, very sick to their stomachs. Mm-hmm. So they would try to avoid things, and they would chew on gum and chew on things. And, gotcha. And so I thought it was interesting that the student wanted the same question answered. Yeah, because when he said that, he goes, "That Hollywood." Right. Right. That's exactly what he said. I'm verbatim. He's like, "That Hollywood." Yeah. So my grandfather didn't talk about, he talked to me about things about World War II, but not a lot. Yeah. But same here. The stories that I have are so inappropriate. Yeah. Oh, same. And so funny. Same. Promotional consideration paid for by the following: Travelin' Tom's Coffee Truck, the delicious mobile coffee truck that brings you the caffeination inspiration you need. We deliver signature coffee products like our Nitro Cold Brew and Caramel Frappe to any occasion or festivity. And for those who don't like coffee, we offer a variety of delicious hot chocolates, energy drinks, lemonades, and teas. That's Travelin' Tom's Coffee Truck. Whether your water is supplied by a public municipality or a private well, for residential or commercial use, Purified Water Services LLC has the solutions to provide you with simply clean water. We offer a complete line of professional water filtration equipment and accessories. Soft water makes a difference you can see and feel. Water heater and appliances last longer with less maintenance. Iron and H2S filters eliminate iron stains and offensive rotten egg odors, and protects your water softener equipment from iron fouling. No matter what your problem is, Purified Water Services LLC has a solution. Contact Kenny Williams at 352-446-2709. Promotional consideration paid for by the following: Webster Ace Hardware and Farm Supply are generous sponsors for today's podcast. They have been a family-owned business for 27 years. This helpful hardware store sells items such as archery, Ariat clothing and boots, Wrangler jeans, case knives, Hammond's candies, and live fishing wear. They also have a full selection of hardware, RV supply, propane, Ben Moore, Royal & Clark, and Kingston paints. You need a barn or fencing job done? Custom barn kits and roofing metal are provided at your local Ace Hardware store. What about a new grill for the yard?
Traeger, Big Green Egg, Weber, and Blackstone are found here, along with all the accessories to go with them. Stock up your workshop with DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Craftsman tools. They got you covered. Remember to go to ace.com to shop their entire line to have items shipped directly to the store. Pat's Taps at Catfish Johnny's. Pat's Taps is Lake Pennsaukena's newest tap room, offering 14 rotating craft beers on tap. We also offer bottled domestic beers, seltzers, ciders, and wine, as well as a variety of appetizers and puffs. Our family-friendly tap room is a great place to come hang out and enjoy some one-of-a-kind craft beer. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or the Untapped app. Looking for custom apparel that stands out? Welcome to the Stitching Heifers, Bushnell's premier embroidery and custom apparel shop. From custom hats, t-shirts and jackets to unique gifts and business branding, we specialize in high quality, personalized apparel that reflects your style and vision. Step into our exclusive hat bar and design your one-of-a-kind custom hat, perfect for personal flair or promoting your brand. At the Stitching Heifers, we're committed to bringing your ideas to life with exceptional service and attention to detail. Whether it's for you, your business, or a thoughtful gift, we're your trusted partner for all things custom in the heart of Sumter County. Stop by today or visit us online to get started. The Stitching Heifers, custom style, local heart. When it comes to building in Sumter County, experience matters. From remodels, barns, additions, and accessory buildings to creating the custom home of your dreams, our Hogan Construction delivers quality you can trust. Russell is hands-on and on-site daily, going above and beyond to ensure the project isn't just completed, but crafted to perfection. He doesn't just meet expectations, he exceeds them. For a builder who puts integrity and craftsmanship first, call R. Hogan Construction today at 352-793-7660. Russell Hogan Construction. Built on tradition, built to last. Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, serving the Lake Pennsauken and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 33 years, we have strived to serve great food at great prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our burgers or wings are the best around. We have daily specials too. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information. Well, that reminds me of, when I first started at Disney. I know you're going to know who this person is, but Debbie Kale. Mm-hmm. We had to do a little. No, it was nothing I did. It was what everybody went through. That did like a little session where it was more like, and I don't know how to say this correctly. Like it was like where you want to say things like PC, but right. You want to make sure you say things because you're dealing with a lot of different cultures and everything. You don't want to, like, I didn't know that if you give someone from Brazil a thumbs up, it's like giving them the middle finger. Right. Or something like that.
But and in the early 2000s, when you got there, and even in the 90s, we weren't worried so much about PC. I mean, I think we were, but you just knew what you should and shouldn't.
Well, we were just we were supposed to be made conscious of it. Like
right.
Like,
that's the perfect way to say it.
Just think about what you're doing. So right. and even and I'm saying this because I had no idea, and I've said this before on a podcast, but like I would always say, well, that man's blind.
Which means they don't get it. They're just right. They're not paying attention.
Or I said the blind. No, I said the blind man. That's a blind man.
Oh.
Or that's a deaf girl, not the girl who is deaf or the man who is blind. You put the man before the disability or whatever's wrong. So, but nobody ever. You don't know
right,
that stuff.
Why would you be told that?
Yeah, that's
unless you were around it.
I'm just like blatantly like it's almost like, do I really have to tell you that this gentleman over here can't see?
Right.
I mean, he pretty much gives you every indication that he cannot see on his own.
Right.
But, and then it's the classic, like, one guy came into Toontown one time, and I said, "Come on in, look around." And I'm like,
"Oops,
whoops."
But that's not your fault.
It's just like anything else. They want to be. I mean, I would want to be treated like anybody else. So if I cannot see, I don't want somebody to feel bad. Tracey feels bad because she told me to come and look around.
Right.
I would.
They don't want, because otherwise I'm excluding you.
Yes.
If I say, everybody feel your arms around the walls and make sure that they're going to get mad.
Exactly.
They're going to be like, you're talking about
We're
my
just
disability.
making you feel at home.
Right.
You know? No, you want to make sure that they don't feel out of place.
Right.
You know? Which they shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. But again, I would never have known that.
Right.
And it's something as simple as changing your words around.
Right.
Now I know slang and derogatory terms are different.
Right.
But that's not what you
There's no intent.
Right. The intent was not there. You just like, oh, that's what how many people in the South their grandparents have said something or whatever.
Right.
And it's not just one race, it could be 5 different races. But you don't know that until
you experience it.
You experience it, or you're old enough to understand yourself.
Well, and the question too is that, are you even old enough to understand if you still don't experience it?
Well, that's true.
Like if I've never been put in front of something,
right,
and then I say the only things I know or what I base my life on, let's say I only watch TikTok or I only do Instagram Reels or whatever,
right,
and I base it on that. Like I actually look forward to my students saying like, well, I saw a video and I'm like, cool, that's your perception. Now let me talk about this too.
Right.
Because you don't experience anything. And I remember being at Jungle Cruise my first year and being like, all right, everybody give me a thumbs up and blah, blah, blah. And a guy was like, that's very funny. And he didn't have a thumb. And I was like, oh, you got me. All right, everybody put your middle finger up and say, woo. And then he goes, did you say middle finger? I'm like, pointer, whatever this is. And he goes, really funny. And I'm like, wait, you don't have a pointer finger either? I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
But he was like, no, I do. I'm just kidding. Like he was making light of it, but it was like,
yeah.
I'd never in a million years thought not to say, put your thumbs up.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that happens in everyday life too, that we tend to say things and like you said, until I experience it.
Yeah.
So those are the reasons we can thank Disney for.
But that's, and how people assume that you would know that is under the same assumption that we would think that was okay. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it works both ways.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, you should have known that. How would I have known that?
Right.
If you don't tell me.
Well, not even, and
I mean, some things are obvious.
Of course.
I'm not excluding that. But what I'm saying is, you may have said something and you totally it just went totally out of text. You know what I mean? You're like, you know what? Or you were trying to be funny. You know what I mean? Like, we have all
no intention.
I don't care who you are. We've all been in that situation.
Right.
There's no way that you've never been in that not had been in that situation.
Right, where you're like, open mouth. And I think a long time ago you would hear, I just put my foot in my mouth. I used to hear that all the time at Disney because people really did. So many things. I don't hear anyone apologizing that way anymore.
No.
Why can't we just be like, I'm so sorry, I just put my foot in my mouth. I've never been in this world. I've never experienced this moment. I'm so sorry. Right. How's the better way to handle it?
Right.
We had last year at our school, we had a man who taught algebra. He was blind.
Oh, that's cool though.
He had technology on his phone that told him what the kids were doing behind him.
Yeah.
He had an earpiece and it would be like, student on the left is like not paying attention.
Oh, that's cool.
And when he wrote on the board, he would put his hand on the board and he would never lift it up. So he would just start writing. So he knew where to go and he knew how many numbers he could write before he got to the end, and then he'd start back over. And he never lifted his hand. The kids were said he was amazing.
Right.
Like just watching him, they'd be like, how is he doing this?
Right.
But then just to leave class and at the end of the day, he had to be escorted.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because he didn't know the campus, but
obviously, yeah.
But you're teaching math. You're teaching high level math.
That's amazing.
Blind.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I can't do math opened-eyed. That's not.
No.
Eyes open, wide shut.
Yeah.
That's a movie. Bad.
But you know what I'm saying?
My kids will be like, can you help me with this algebra? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I don't think you should ask me. I'll break out in hives.
Yeah. Jace is 11. He doesn't ask me for help because, I mean, I've never really offered, but he's smart enough to do it. When I was at his age, forget it. You had to beat me with like a lead pipe.
My parents had to give me tutors. I was so dumb in math.
Oh my gosh. I hated math.
When I started teaching, they put me in 5th grade math and I was like, I literally was like, I was like so scared. And they said, look, it's 5th grade math. And I opened the book and I'm like, I don't understand it. Like,
Tracey, the answers are in the back.
listen,
I'm just kidding. That's what I would have said. I would have told myself, literally, I would have said, Billy, the answers are in the back, for crying out loud.
but you had to show them how to do it.
I know.
And they don't know it like we do it. Like when I was a kid, it was, all right, multiplication tables. All right. Now I'm like, 24 times 10. Let me make a lattice fence. Draw the numbers. And the number goes over to its neighbor number and borrows a 0, but it can't borrow that. It wants 1 egg. And what is all this crap? Just memorize it. Like
no, I get it. I mean,
I tell my students to memorize timelines. Look, if you could memorize history in timeline order, you'll be able to fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so does World War I come before World War II? No, not today. No, it will at the end of the year, but not right now.
Right now, it's not in season.
Right, and so they'll go, okay, and then put World War II, World War I. It's like,
well,
Civil War come before Gilded Age? No.
See, now I loved like talking about my favorite two of my favorite things in school: states and capitals.
Oh, I'm the worst.
And presidents.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. So we learned the presidents. Now that was in school. I could tell you probably like 12 presidents right now, but I kind of know what order they go in.
Can you name the first 5?
Yeah, Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Adams. No, Madison, then Adams. No, see, I'm done up there. No, wait. No, that would be Jackson. Okay, I'm bombing here. Go ahead.
Monroe is 5.
Monroe. Okay, yeah.
Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson.
There you go.
You were close. You named all of them.
Yeah. Just not in.
I don't think that anybody memorized them anymore. State and capitals, I'd be in so much trouble.
Capitals. Yeah.
One kid asked me if Kentucky was a capital. I said, no, it's a state. And they said, I'm pretty sure you're wrong, Miss Downey. I'm like, oh, God, no, I'm not.
Well, it's funny. This guy that I was talking to somebody one time, and they said, my buddy is a head coach at Frankfort, in Frankfort, Kentucky. He's a head coach. He went to high school here in Florida, and now he coaches in Frankfort. And I said something to somebody one day, and they said, Frankfurt. And they said, Germany? I'm like, no, Kentucky. Because
I mean, okay,
you think about that. You think, but I didn't think that it would even be like Paris, Texas. You're like, what? Like somebody, Rome, Georgia, Rome, New York. What?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It was kind of funny. It was comical.
Right. Because why wouldn't you think? Why would you think? Right.
I'm like Frankfurt. Oh, the capital.
Oh, right.
A lot of people don't even realize it's the capital.
Frankfurt's the capital of Kentucky.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if you're right. Turn on the outside.
Look it
up. 2 sources. I don't think that my teachers ever made me learn states and capitals.
That was like, oh my gosh, that was like 3rd grade for me. I loved it. It is what it is, but like you could tell all the other kids were like, gosh, I hate this. And I'm like, I love it.
Well, there was a song. We learned the state, like when I taught 5th grade, we taught the state song. The one in order. Alaska, Alabama, the Looney Tune.
Yeah.
What do they call it?
That's the world. The United States, Canada, Mexico.
No. It was, what is it called? Not Looney Tunes. Animaniacs. Yeah.
Which is Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Oh, is it? No, it's not.
Yeah, it's a spinoff. They had Daffy Duck and Porky Pig as little kids. It's Bugs Bunny's nephew or Babs and. Y'all remember that? It's the Warner Brothers. Literally the Warner Brothers.
You're literally just talking. Oh, you could be lying about.
No, I'm not lying. I promise. No. I invented Post-it notes.
So you could use them.
I invented Post cereal.
Yes. And I followed with Post-it notes. See, you just got to keep talking and it works no matter what. Yeah, so I taught my kids that song. And then I can't even sing it now.
Well, that's fine.
I was talking to the kids about the Erie Canal, and they said, that's dumb. What?
Did you know that Florida almost put a canal in?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, they were going to cut the...
Oh, yeah. Between, midway.
Yeah. What? North of Ocala. Actually, it's like just a hair above Ocala. So north of here.
Ocala's north?
Yeah, from here.
I mean, it's north. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that still considered central? No?
Kind of north central. I'll say north central.
When was this going to happen?
When I say central,
is that eminent domain? Excuse me, we're making a canal.
You know what? Back then, I don't think they're like, yeah, they're pretty much like, it's progress.
Wow.
But it fell through for some reason. It was like a big
Because Flagler didn't fund it.
Probably. Flagler was. That guy had it all figured out.
Yeah, he did.
That guy was awesome.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Flagler College?
I have.
Gold ceilings.
Their football team is still undefeated.
Flagler is a football team?
No, that's why they're undefeated. They have shirts that say that. They have shirts that say
really?
Flagler football still undefeated. I swear.
That's funny.
That's the running gag. They don't have a football program.
A lot of our colleges in Florida don't have football programs.
Which is bizarre because Florida's like
hot,
the hotbed of golly.
Literally,
it's like, yeah.
Maybe that's why. Because it's 900.
They're like, nah.
But we have an ice hockey team. All right.
Yeah, they got to get up early so the ice don't melt.
Right. Yeah, it gets hot here. Do you know why people moved here?
Wait.
That's an ESC.
Texas. You're from Texas.
It's hot as hell there too.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been there.
It's like a sauna.
You know, San Antonio was the hottest.
No, it wasn't, but I love San Antonio.
It was September.
Remember
when
the Alamo?
We went. But that's where I was.
Take a moment.
Hey,
did you see the Alamo?
Do you remember the Alamo?
I do. I was there.
Yeah!
I was there.
Adobe.
Yeah, Adobe.
Can you say
Adobe?
Can you say Adobe?
Excuse me, I need to find out my room about. Can I go? When are we going to the basement? I love.
There's no basement in the Alamo.
That's my favorite scene. Silly goose. There's no basement in the Alamo.
Which there really is, though. They lied to us as kids. There's really a basement there.
Ozzy Osbourne peed on it.
How do you know this?
I was there.
You were with him?
No.
Oh. With a post-it note. He put a post-it note
on it. Ozzy Osbourne peed on the Alamo. You really did? He did.
I don't ever dispute testimony. I'm just saying.
No, he really did.
If you say
he did, it was a big news. He ate a bat. He peed on the Alamo.
Wow. That's where he did it?
Yeah.
He ate the bat in San Antonio?
No, he ate the bat at a concert. He peed in the Alamo in Texas.
So it was a long pee.
Yeah.
I was going to say he held it for a while.
No,
we went to see my brother graduate from boot camp. He was in the Air Force. So we went to Ackland there. It was awesome.
Eglin Air Force Base.
Ackland.
Yeah, I had a boyfriend from there once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Once.
But I wouldn't do certain things. So he broke up with me.
Oh, boy. Like, do his taxes.
Yes. Coitus. High school kids don't know that word.
Such a modest.
Everyone should talk about that word openly.
It sounds like a coin collector.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm a coitus.
I'm a Capricorn.
I really, really like quarters in my coitus collection.
No. You're like, what was the old? Remember in Living Color?
Yes.
Remember they had like the snack shack.
God, these are like memories.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. She's like, I'm a vegetarian. She goes, oh, I'm a Capricorn. It's all right, baby.
It's okay. I loved that show.
That's so good.
Were you old enough to watch that show?
Oh, yeah.
Are you?
That was early 90s. I was 9. I'm not that much younger than you.
You are that much younger than me.
No, I'm not really.
If you graduated in 2000,
yeah.
Okay, you're not that much younger.
See? Told you.
I don't do math, remember? You're still 6 years younger than me.
So let me tell you about, you said 1997 earlier in that Disney. My cousin graduated in 97, so she went to grad night. And she said, I think it was Backstreet Boys were on the Adventureland stage. Nobody knew who they were.
Yeah, no, Backstreet Boys, Michelle Moeller Larson was there. Was there.
Really?
What were they called? The stagehands, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She was madly in love with them. Maybe it wasn't Backstreet Boys. Maybe it was the other ones.
Our year, it was Jessica Simpson and Destiny's Child. That was the year 2000.
Wow.
That's when they had Beyonce.
The last one was at the studios, and it was Katy Perry. And she kissed a girl. She brought a high school girl.
Really did?
She brought a high school girl on stage and kissed a girl, and it would cause all sorts of mayhem.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
She's like,
the girl was like, I kissed Katy Perry. Shut up. No, you didn't. You thought it.
Was this before or after she stayed in the castle for her birthday? Did you know that?
No.
She stayed in the castle one night. Like I think Miley Cyrus did it. You know, this is when they turned our beautiful break room up there into the penthouse suite.
Never seen it.
Never seen it?
But I feel like when they did that, the first people that should have stayed there were the ones that made ours. Kim Sweeble and I should have been the first ones to stay there.
Should have. I agree with that.
I mean,
Schweebs.
Right. They would have been like, oh, Tracey. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But instead they were like, hey, Consuelo, we're laying you off.
Consuelo.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Well,
That's the opening of the book. The whole opening chapter is about Consuelo.
Oh yeah.
You know that story, right?
No. Wait. Is Consuelo? She was a character.
It's me. No, it's me.
Oh, I thought Consuelo was the lady. There was one that used to smoke and.
Was that
like, hey kids, how you doing?
I mean, that's my pseudo sidekick. No.
Is that your alter ego? What
Yes.
okay.
No. So yes, but here's why.
Okay.
So 25 long dedicated years at Walt Disney World. And they laid us off because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I get a letter, the letter that says, "Dear Tracy."
Yeah.
Now I knew that letter was coming.
Return your clothes.
Right. It didn't even say that.
I got the same one.
Okay. So everybody got it. Aaron Hagedorn.
Well, I got an email. I didn't get a letter.
Oh.
Maybe I got both. I just didn't.
You didn't get any. Aaron Hagedorn and I were the only ones who hadn't gotten the letters yet. Yeah. So we were messaging each other. Did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? All of y'all were getting them. And we were like, we haven't gotten ours. Maybe we're getting to today.
Maybe they forgot about it.
Maybe I forgot. So one day, this is karma. I wore a fairy godmother shirt because it was character day at Disney or at wherever I work. And I wore my fairy godmother t-shirt. Mm-hmm. And I said, watch, this will be the day that I get laid off. I get home and my husband's like, your Disney letter came.
And you're like,
I already start crying. I'm like,
oh,
I don't, because I felt like they were ripping a part of my heart out.
Yeah.
I can say goodbye to all this stuff, but my best friend, FGM, okay, so open the letter. Tracy right at the top, my number, the whole name.
Yeah.
Dear Consuelo. Who the is Consuelo? I read the whole letter.
No
Consuelo's
way.
been laid off. I'm like, poor Consuelo.
You're like, yes, not me.
So I call Human Resources. This is how the phone conversation went. Thank you for calling Walt Disney World. This is so-and-so. How may I help you? Hi, I need to speak to someone. My name is Tracy Wright, and I received a letter today that says, excuse me, I'm going to stop you right there. Can I have your number, please? My number? Your name. Tracy Wright. Tracy Wright, did you receive a letter? Yes, would you like me to repeat the story? My name is Tracy Wright. Can you please just hold on? You sound a little mad. Ma'am, my name is Tracy Wright. I just need to see if I got laid off today. Tracy, did you get a letter today? Yes. What is the question? Did I get laid off because the letter's directed to Consuelo? Tracy, is your name Consuelo? No, ma'am. Then you're not fired. Thank you for calling Walt Disney World. I said, wait. If I'm not fired, but Consuelo is, someone might want to notify them because Consuelo might have a shift next week.
Consuelo.
Poor Consuelo. No, Consuelo, a guy.
Oh, Consuelo.
I said, Consuelo doesn't even know.
God.
So at this point, the nice lady on the phone goes, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I have your partner number? Because I've been getting a lot of calls today. She's very condescending, and she keeps moving towards the top of the phone so it's louder. And I said, yes, my partner number is blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh, fine, it's you.
Goodbye.
I said, fine.
You are the weakest
So I repeated. So I said, fine, it's me. And she goes, yes, you're fired. I said, I'm fired. Tracy Consuelo Wright, you're laid off. I said, who's Consuelo? And she was like, I don't have time for this. I said, excuse me, ma'am, how long have you been working here? She gets loud. Tracy Consuelo, I've been working here for 2 years. I said, okay, lady, how old are you? I'm 22. I said, and a not polite voice, I've been working here longer than you've been alive. I'm going to hang up now. We've been getting calls like this all day. So she hangs up. I call Rick Stimmel. Yeah. Rick Stimmel, they fired Consuelo and Tracy Wright at the same time. And Rick's like, Tracy, calm down. What are you talking about? I'm like, Consuelo got fired on my letter, but I don't know if it's Consuelo or me. And he's like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, no. So I take the picture and I post it on social media. I'm like, Consuelo got fired. We have to notify Consuelo. Call Aaron Hagedorn. I'm like, Aaron, we got laid off. I got the letter. It's Consuelo got fired. And he's like, who's Consuelo? I'm like, I don't know. It's me, I guess now. So the very next day I take to doing the posts on Facebook about the stuff being said in my class.
Yeah.
Well, I knew if I put in my class or Downey's class, my admin is connected to my social media. So I knew if they saw me go Downey's class and a student's name, I'd get in trouble.
Right.
So Consuelo came to life. So Consuelo's class is my classroom.
Okay.
And so
very cool.
And it all started because of the letter. And then when I posted the letter, that was it. Every teacher I know was like, Consuelo, can we console you? Consuelo. I'm like, that girl on the phone. Thank you for calling Walt Disney World, please. So now when I get mad at my class, I start talking in my Disney voice. We have microphones. I never use it, but I'll pick it up and I'm like, class, it's time to sit down. At this time, we're going to be taking out our textbooks, reading page 101 to 212. And if you really make me mad, you'll be handwriting the entire thing. Thank you for coming and have a magical day. And the kids
But
are
it's
like,
your first trip. Oh, you're 100.
right? The kids are like, oh, Consuelo's here.
That's nuts, though.
Yeah, so
that's so crazy.
So Consuelo's still showing up to work. And they probably let him.
And they never fixed the glitch. Like
No, I asked, I was like, can you please send me a letter with my name so I know I got reason?
So I can frame it.
Rick Stillman was like, maybe you should show up for work. I'm like, maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's not gonna.
Can you imagine?
That's crazy.
25 years. There's only 5 FGMs at the time.
Yeah.
And Consuelo got laid off, not Tracy Wright.
Poor
Consuelo.
Poor Consuelo.
Right. Who the hell is Consuelo?
That is my favorite. Nicole and I were watching New Year's Eve bash thing. You know, the countdown to the ball, and all the talent. I'm like, every time I'm like, who?
Right. Who are these people?
I don't have a clue. I have no idea who these people are.
I don't know what's happening. I'm switching to old people now status, like, because now like the kids play music and stuff, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah. No.
Like, what happened to Sex Packets? And the Humpty Dance. That music made sense to me. Now we got like, I'm like, what is happening?
TikTok, man, it's taking over.
I know.
TikTok.
And when the kids come in and they're like, listen, look at this new TikTok trend. These kids are in the middle of the bathroom stalls with 3 friends making videos. I'm like, people are pooping in here. There's fecal matter flying around. It's getting on your phone.
It's gonna get on your screen.
And then you're wiping it on your face, and then you wonder why you have to wear a pimple patch tomorrow.
Oh my god!
Because you got poop on your face.
Did you ever see the video of this custodian kept having us like, what the girls would go in and kiss the mirror?
Yes.
And he would use the toilet water. No, you ever seen that?
No, but that's priceless.
Okay, so
do you know what our maintenance did?
What?
Took all our mirrors out of the bathrooms.
Oh, for real?
All of them.
All of them?
There's no mirrors in our school. It's amazing. They're all in my cheer closet. They didn't get rid of them, but
well, they would kiss the mirror.
Yeah, right.
So the custodian had to like scrape off the lipstick, right?
Dip.
Yeah. Well. I mean, he would spray it, and then he told I don't know, in the movie or the video was probably the AP or the principal. And she's like, all right, I need all you girls to come in here. And she goes, this is Mr. So-and-so. He has to clean our restrooms. Or that's his job. He cleans our restrooms. It's awful hard to clean the restrooms when you kiss the mirror. It takes him extra time to get all that off. It's very hard to do. And he said, Mr. So-and-so, would you show them how you do it? And he walks over, he's got the squeegee, and he goes in the toilet. And he pushes like that. And that's not how he'd been doing it, but he did it that one time there, and all the girls were like, oh. He's like, that's right. That's right, ladies. You want to do that again? Go ahead. Kiss that toilet water.
Listen, I think so, I have so much fun with it. I'm probably a really bad teacher. I say stuff all the time to them. Like, they come down the hall and I'm like, when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to be half naked wearing pajama pants out in public. I actually cared what people think. And they'll say, Miss Downey, this is just school. And I'm like, yeah, you clearly don't care. You have a pimple patch on. You walked out of the house. Something in your brain said, oh, kid, I'll wear a little star and I'll hide the big white pimple. But everyone knows that under the star is the big white pimple.
Yeah.
So not just own it.
Couldn't have covered it up like Nelly.
Right. Hello.
Little Band-Aid under the eye.
Right.
Hey, let me ask you this, because I just remember this. I don't know if it was you. I'm talking about being young. I don't know if it was you or somebody else.
Yes, I was young at some point.
I know you were. I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but they had snuck out, went to a concert. It was an Aerosmith concert.
Is my mom going to see this?
It was you.
I never did it.
It was you. I remember, Tracy. I remember. Yes.
Okay, it's time to lie down.
Okay.
Janet's going to see this.
No.
I didn't sneak out. She knew I was going to the concert.
Okay.
I snuck the outfit. We had on jeans.
Right. That's not what she told us. She told us maybe she wanted to say that it was so it would sound better, but what happened was she said that she snuck out and she was going to this concert and she was front row, and I don't remember what song it was, but it was
Blind Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was It's so funny, all this stuff. So Aerosmith's Blind
can't
Man's
believe
playing.
you remember that
and
story.
see? And they're doing the music video scene right there. Tracy's front row. Tracy.
And they picked me because of my personality.
And they picked.
For those of you that can't see this,
Oh, they're seeing it.
the personality.
Is your backstage passes.
Right. And my friends didn't get picked because they didn't have a good personality.
See? Isn't it funny how I remember stuff like that?
Of all the things you could remember about me, that's what you remember.
I don't know why, but I thought it was either you or Renee Pittman.
You know what? You probably remember that story because your brother loved Steven Tyler.
Maybe. And I was like, dude, I know somebody that was in a video.
Yep, that is a story. Yeah, and you know what? It's so funny. We were in college. We came back, and I had on these baggy jeans. You know, it was that not what was the look? Trash.
Was it like Jinko jeans or something?
No, it was like ripped jeans. They were like just,
yeah.
But I can't think of that look. But then you had the plaid shirt on.
Yeah.
But underneath it, I had like the halter top. Like It was like a half tank top. But my mother would never let me out of the house like that. And so I had it all buttoned up. And as soon as we got out, grunge is the style. I unbuttoned it and I tied it around my waist. And here we go to the Aerosmith concert. And I'm so excited. And I mean, you know, and then they pick me to be in this thing. And I'm like, I put the shirt back on. And they're like, no, keep the shirt off. And I was like,
of course.
I'm like, my mom will never see a Aerosmith video in her life. But you know what's funny is I pulled that video up to see it, and I still to the life of me can't find me. But I was in it. I was there. Yeah. I mean, I know where I am, but like.
Oh, I'm gonna look for it, folks.
Okay.
Maybe I can.
Burgundy tank top.
Don't give me hints. I'm making the treasure hunt.
Where's Waldo? I found Consuelo.
But isn't it funny that, like, remember you and you're like, my mom, and the first thing you say is my mom gonna watch this? Isn't it funny, like, when you grow up and there are things that you've done and you're like, oh my God, my mom and dad are gonna kill me.
I know. And you know what's so funny is because my mom and dad, they all say things, and then my mom and dad will, you know, well, we knew you did that, and I'm like, no, you didn't.
You can't even have a laugh anymore. You're like, remember that time we did? No.
You know, maybe I could. I don't know. My parents were strict.
Oh, come on, Tracy.
That's how my mom said that.
Oh, really?
Tracy Marie. Tracy Marie. She loved my full name when I got in trouble.
That's when you know you're definitely in trouble.
Yeah, my dad wouldn't say it. My dad would just go, now. Tracy.
My real name is William. So when I heard William, I was like, that's what my wife says when I'm in trouble. She's like, William. I'm like, oh boy.
My mother was Tracy Marie, and and our house wasn't very big, probably the size of the garage. And she would be like, Tracy Marie. And I'm like, there's so many E sounds in that.
There's so
she's
many possibilities with that.
Right. And then you had to think of it when she'd call you out and she'd go, what did you do? And I was like, oh.
You're like, how much time you got?
Right. And what, can you give me a date range? Like, what? Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a bad kid, but I also, you know, I did my stuff. Yeah. You know, so I got a tattoo, and
the same night you went to the concert?
No, Billy, he's lying. I don't even know what he's talking about. I got a tattoo a few years ago. I told my team, my cheer, because you know, in everything else I do in life, I'm also a cheer coach.
Right.
I told my team if they made it to state and they were in top 5, I would get a tattoo. So they made it to state. There were only 3 of us that made it to finals. We beat out all the competition. They weren't even.
Wow. They're motivated.
Right. So I was like, I'll get a tattoo. And I was 45 when I got this, terrified of what Janet and Keith would think. So I wouldn't let him see it. So I told my brother. My brother's like, I'm telling. I'm like, you're not telling. So he kept like threatening it. So we would be at like family things, and my brother would be like, Tracy, your tattoo. Tracy, your tattoo. I'm like, oh my God, my mom is going to get so mad. I'm like, what am I afraid of? I'm a grown woman.
Yeah.
So
Tracy's got a tattoo.
Right. So he did. So we're sitting at the patio one day, and I forgot. It had been like a year and a half. Yeah. And my legs are crossed and at my ankles. My dad's sitting next to me, and my dad goes, he's from England. What is that on your foot?
Nice.
It's soot.
Soot.
He's like,
you still went English?
Tattoo?
You went soot.
I said, yeah, Dad, it's a tattoo. And I tried to play it off like I didn't care. My mother gets the face. You know that face that moms get? She would clench her jaw, stroke happening so tight. She's like, you got a tattoo?
Very disappointed.
Right. She didn't say the words. So I just went, yes, I did. And then looked down like I was a bad kid. I was like, oh God.
Yes, I did. What are you going to do about it?
Right. Yes, I did. You want me to go ground myself?
With a dirty needle.
With a with toilet water.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah, that's. Yeah.
what's the old saying? Whatever you hide from your parents as kids, you'll hide from your kids as parents. Have you ever heard that?
No, I have to process that. If you hide from your parents as kids,
Whatever you hide from your parents as kids, you'll hide from your kids as parents.
so I shouldn't tell her I was in a video either. Okay.
No, you shouldn't. She already knows about the tattoo, right?
Yes.
Just let it go. We'll let it go.
I would kill my kid if they got a tattoo.
Listen, I can't do it.
She wants a second piercing in her ears, and I'm like, you know what that leads to? She's like, what? And I'm like, holes in the rest of your body and fornication. She's like, what? I'm like,
And
if you kiss people, you get
dirty
pregnant.
dancing.
And dirty dancing. Can you imagine? My mom's going to watch this and be like, why'd you keep bringing me up? My mom and dad would not let me watch Dirty Dancing. I was the only
for
kid
real?
in 8th grade that didn't watch it. And then one day I was babysitting and they had HBO.
yes.
I did.
Yes.
And I watched it. Sylvia, yes, Mickey, how do you call your lover boy? And I was like, this isn't bad. She's like, come here, lover boy. And the next thing I know, she was naked. And I was like, so my
You're
mom
like,
told me.
there goes
So my mom told
my
me.
innocence.
Yeah, my mom told me that if I danced on the floor, I'd be naked.
I was 8 years old. Watched Hard to Kill on HBO.
I don't know what that
It's a
is.
Steven Seagal movie,
Oh,
and
that couldn't have been.
violent as all. Like he breaks a guy's arm and like.
Oh,
It's like one of those. I mean, it's bad '80s acting, but it was like 1988 or '89, and he's like, it breaks this guy's arm, and all these different adult themed
oh,
like situations, and I'm just like, okay,
yeah.
like I'm cool. It's HBO, guys. Come on.
Oh no, I remember the first time someone got shown in a bra on television, and my mom being like, "Well, we're going to hell in a handbasket." And I remember,
There goes PBS.
right? I remember. Times are so different now. When I was a kid, the Wonder Years was big.
Oh yeah, I love the
Okay,
one.
so I remember the first time that Kevin and Winnie had a French kiss on the swing set.
Oh yeah.
Now people had, like, I was young, like I hadn't been French kissed yet, which they don't call it French kissing anymore. It's Hallmark kissing. Hallmark kissing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or Hollywood kisses.
Hollywood.
Yeah. So I'm watching this and I'm already uncomfortable because my parents, I always felt like they were like, good Catholic kids staring at me. And I was like, yeah, well, that's what people say. It just happens.
Yeah.
My mother's like, turns the TV off. What just happens? A French kiss.
Yeah.
A French kiss just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens that someone's tongue is in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, Tracy, go to your room.
Listen, I wasn't.
I got grounded because the Wonder Years French kiss.
Yeah, well, I wasn't allowed to watch Roseanne
I was.
growing up. My mom was like,
No.
I don't like this lady, and I didn't watch it for.
Perfect. See?
I didn't watch it for years.
See? You get my
Yeah,
feeling.
I know. I get it.
Everybody, well, I went to a sock hop in 8th grade and everybody was acting out
Did you
Dirty
just
Dancing.
say sock hop?
Yeah, they did them in middle school for us.
Oh, did y'all do a Sadie Hawkins dance while you were at?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I asked Michael Hickey to go with me.
You're like, hey, Hickey, would you like a Hickey?
And Michael Hickey, that's inappropriate.
I'm so sorry. PDA, handshake. Okay.
Michael Hickey became my boyfriend for 3 weeks.
Oh, that's a long relationship. That's a long
7th
distance
grade,
dedication.
Right.
Did you have Casey
This is
Kasem?
going out to you, Michael Hickey, wherever you are. He was shorter than me.
Did you have El DeBarge playing in the background?
No.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
No, I don't know what our 8th grade dance would have been. Our 7th grade dance would have been. Anyway, everybody acted out the Sylvia dance,
Yeah.
the Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Sylvia. And Eric Alvarez, he was there, and he was everybody liked him, and he knew the whole thing, and the girls knew the whole thing, and I didn't know it, and I hated feeling left out, but my parents wouldn't let me watch it, so I was just like, yeah, I get it, and
You're like, nobody puts baby in the corner.
right, but I didn't know what no baby, so when everybody said it, I didn't get it.
Yeah, no,
and I
that's
was
okay.
like, yeah, that's mean. Why would you put a baby in the corner?
Sometimes it's okay to not know.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong.
You're raising high school kids. They need to know.
Listen, Nicole and I will play, like, we watched Son-in-Law with the kid. Well, not Chase. He didn't care. He was in his room, but Caden watched it, and she was like, "Okay, this is all right." I'm like, "All right, it's hilarious.
Hilarious.
It's timeless."
What happened to him?
Pauly Shore?
Yeah.
He's now touring. He's like making a comeback. Like he's doing a lot of gigs and stuff. He has his own podcast. He's pretty funny.
He's pretty.
I've always liked Pauly Shore.
I did too.
But he did. He basically.
Show.
So basically, Hollywood got or people got tired of him doing the weasel all the time, like the whole, the MTV guy he was. They just, I don't know, it just runs its course sometimes, and I guess. But I always thought it was hilarious.
Oh yeah, the weasel.
The weasel. Yeah, exactly. I have to have Jello when I do that or something like. I don't know, but. I've always been like,
I don't even understand that.
You never done that before?
With Jello?
Jello? That's the only way to like make Jello a liquid. Is like that. Yeah. That's the only way to do it.
I forgot about that.
You remember that?
I liked him in Encino Man.
He's like, go to Magic Mountain, squeeze a little ooze. That guy said, no, squeeze it into ooze.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, people got sick of that?
Yeah, Hollywood did that because he did like In the Army Now. I think that was like in Biodome, and those were like his last movies that he kind of did where he was Pauly Shore. The rest of them,
wait, right? Because they pigeonhole you.
Yeah. You're what do they call that? That's typecast.
Right. That's why I won't go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because they
is that the only reason, or is
they would typecast me. It's on fire. And they would typecast me as the funny girl, and I could never be serious. They'd probably give me a name like Consuelo. But if you're watching Netflix or, I'm always willing to do something.
We could do a Netflix special, Tracey at the Garden.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
We'll be in a garden, not Madison Square Garden.
Right, no, because that's too big and I'd be hot. So outside in the garden is lovely. Live from Bushnell.
Yes. Hey, speaking of which.
Can we do history in the garden? History in the garden.
History in the garden. That's
history in the fields. And you could just videotape me teaching lessons in fields.
Yeah, we could do that.
Today, we're talking about.
Hey, real quick before we go, I got two things I'm going to ask.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm
married.
Yes, I know that.
Okay.
So am I.
Oh, congratulations.
Have you seen Drunk History?
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Yes.
I just didn't know if you've seen it.
I have seen it.
And
I can't do that because I'm a public education teacher.
Yes, but it's hilarious.
But I'm really funny when I drink.
But it's very
water and talk about history.
Best one I ever saw. There's two of them. The one with Elvis, where Jack Black plays Elvis.
I haven't seen him in a long time. When she originally started, the original one, or I don't know, was The Lady, right? Still The Lady?
No, there's several people.
Okay, I'll have to watch it again. It's been a long time.
There's one about Dolly Parton. It's amazing.
Okay, I'll have to go back and.
If you like Dolly Parton, you're gonna love Dolly Parton.
My kids wear Dolly Parton. You'll see it when you read the book.
Yeah.
Kids wear Dolly Parton shirts, and I'm like, "Do you know who that is?" And they're like, "No."
Yeah, Nicole or Caden wore a Beatles shirt or Pink Floyd. I'm like, "Do you know who it is?" She's like, "Oh, it was the Beatles." Because she goes, "Yeah, Larry." She started giving them different names. I'm like, "No."
Right, we're not gonna dismantle the greatest time.
We're not going to Abbey Road. No. And the other one was there's a great podcast. I don't know do you listen to podcasts?
I actually have tried, but I don't like solo podcasts.
Well, there's one that's well done and it's well put together. It's done by a professor. I'm not quite sure where he's at.
There's a lot of professors that do them.
What's called History That Doesn't Suck.
Yes, I have.
Really
I
good.
think that's the one that I started watching.
I listened
and
to
the
that
President's one.
I
just don't when I drive. I don't like listening to people talk. I talk all day.
That's all I did when I went to see my brother in Alabama 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
With it, I listened to Joe Rogan.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm on a road trip, I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
But I don't go on those a lot.
Right.
And to and from school, it's quiet time.
Oh yeah. Well, I get that. But my job, I'm the courier, so I'm driving constantly.
Oh yeah. So it'd be perfect.
So I listen to that all the time.
Yeah.
But
if I go for a walk or something, I'll listen to him.
Well, see, I used to have a job where I left Disney for a little bit and remained seasonal, and I was a yard fertilizer guy.
Okay.
So I worked for Massey, and I did the yard side. Well, I got to start listening to Monsters in the Morning and all that, the real radio side. Because if I put it on the radio, back then it was 05, I didn't have a CD player in the truck or whatever. Bluetooth didn't exist. If I put it on radio, then I would get out of the truck, the song would be on. By the time I got it, the song's over with.
Right.
It would be a totally different song. So I'm like, if I put it on AM radio, or not AM, but talk radio, they're still talking about the same subject by the time I get back. So that's how I started getting that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I mean, I thought it would keep my attention.
I know my
more.
kids always tell me that I should do a podcast.
Yeah, you
They're
should.
like, you really should. You should
should.
just do a history one. It would be so funny.
A lot of people are like, they want me to do like history stuff. So this is kind of more of the, like when you came, you know, when we got together and we're like, you want to talk about history some, you know, you're like, I'm like, yes, that's exactly what.
You want to do a history podcast any day, anytime. It's not far. I'll drive here.
Yeah. We'll
pick a topic and we'll talk.
We'll have to have you come back on again and we'll do that.
Are we going to be in the garden?
We could do that.
Yes.
I have to make it. We'll put some plants around here.
Just be sitting
We'll
here.
have props come
I'm in the garden, everyone. I would love to do
Hi, everybody.
history anytime.
Yes, I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah, just give me
Seriously.
the topic ahead of time. I got you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or you could just draw it out of a hat. But then if you pick one and I don't know, I'll be so embarrassed.
Well, no, because
No world.
we might.
The world doesn't exist. I only know American.
You know what we should do? We should like get together and like ahead and do like a thing where you're like, you know, hey, do you know anything about this? No? Okay, good. And I don't know about this. Good. So we can educate each other.
I would love
That's
to.
the way it's supposed to be.
Listen, I think there needs to be a lot of talk about history, and it needs to start with the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Like, let's really break this down.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can break it down.
Yeah.
All right.
Consuelo's smart.
Consuelo, that's awesome. We'll have Consuelo on. We'll do like a power. What is it called? Like
PowerPoints?
Well, we could do PowerPoints. Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Oh my gosh, you cracked me up.
My World War II PowerPoint is 154 slides.
Oh wow. Okay. Well. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
The kids are so like because I do this because I want them to see things more than I want them to read and write.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't need you to write notes. Like that's
Right.
Here's a visual.
Yeah.
Here's a pic. Like I'm totally gonna look up the thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna have it in.
Yes. I'm gonna show you that picture.
Please do because it's now gonna go to students. When you watch this and it's 155 slides, it's his fault. And we're going to reference this now as a source in my class. So I hope he's not lying. He did, after all, invent Post-it notes.
Yes, I did. And
just so you should do it. You should say hey to all my kids because all my kids will be watching this when it comes out.
Shout out to
the Bolts, Ridge Community High School Bolts.
The Bolts.
Yes.
Lightning Bolts.
Yes.
Yes. Shout out to you guys.
But it's only my classes, so we just do it like Downey.
Do it like Downey. Listen, your teacher is amazing. She's a great friend of mine. Please take good care of her, okay?
And buy the book, kids.
Buy the book. Yeah, that book is on. You said it was on Amazon.
It's
correct?
on Amazon. It's on Books a Million.
Okay.
It's on. You can actually get it through Jim's store if you want to go to Leesburg.
Oh yeah, Jim.
Yeah, it's on. I sold one in Alaska. I've already sold one in. It was really weird because they called me and they told me that some had sold in Germany and Australia, and I'm like,
cool.
wow.
No, there's people that you never know.
Well, it's weird too because it's definitely a niche book.
Yeah.
And people are going to have to once I think people read it, it's going to be like you going, oh my gosh, because you work in education.
Yeah.
So your wife will read it and go, oh, I know this. And then she'll give it to people. And that's how, this is not a book that's going to hit the New York Times bestseller. This is going to be a gifted book by people that go.
But the best part about it is it's you.
You
know what I mean? Like it's your.
You'll read it. You're going to read it in my voice.
Right.
Everyone that reads it goes, I can't not read it in your voice. So let me have your book. I'm going to sign it for you.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Let's see. Get us a nice.
Isn't it a nice cover?
Yes, it is.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming out today.
I appreciate you asking me. This was so much fun.
Yes, I'm glad that you found that we're both super busy. We're trying to kind of pinpoint this down.
But listen, Sundays I'm ready. So you tell me what history day and I'm here.
You got it.
Absolutely. I would be honored to do this again.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of you.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
This is so cool.
I really, really appreciate that.
And your wife is adorable. And your house is adorable. I'm just so proud of you.
Well, I appreciate that.
It's like a little brother because I'm so much older than him.
So much, guys. She's so much. I mean, I saw her on the Aerosmith video. You know how old those guys are. Just saying. I'm just kidding.
It wasn't me.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Ma. Guys, we're going to go ahead and sign off.
Yeah.
That's all right. And
after introduction coming up.
Right now, we got, let's see, we're at 3 hours and 18 minutes. Yeah, I know. Look at this face,
Are you
guys.
serious?
Yeah, it's been 3 hours.
Who talks that much?
I don't know. We do. And we're good at it.
We just beat the Trump thing. He talked on Rogan for 3 hours.
I know.
Almost 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours.
We just beat him. What you got, Rogan and Trump? What you got? Wow.
Yeah.
Who's going to want to watch this in replay for 3 hours?
Well, it's going to be in 3 parts.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry. It's like 3 segments. You'll be like, here's the history one.
It'll be part 1, part 2, part 3.
I should have changed clothes.
No.
I should have had overlays.
Yeah.
I could have changed.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time I'm wearing a bathing suit for the garden episode.
Oh, okay. No, that should work. And with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off.
Outroduction is coming.
Here's my outro. But seriously, guys, I want to thank you for joining us on all 3 parts. But the end of this one, part 3. Thank you, Tracey, again for coming. I want to thank all our sponsors out there. Without your help and support, none of this is possible. So, anyways, until next time, we'll see you guys. Take care. Bye.